Good evening, Gooners. Welcome to the Gooner booth. It's the match preview. It's Wolves versus Arsenal. I think I'll probably say it is the biggest game of the season. I mean, every game's a cup final, but this is absolutely massive. If you're new around here, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and most importantly, get involved in the comments tonight. Wayne, good evening. Welcome back to the show.
Good evening, mate.
Two podcasts off. Did you have a nice time out with the family, mate?
Yeah, just catching up, mate. As I say, it's a week off. I rarely get it, matey. So
I know.
Just catching up with some family at the weekend when we ain't got to get up early morning. But well done yourself, mate. Standing in and that, appreciate it, bud. It's a good shows there, matey. You know?
Yeah, there's been some news, mate. There's been some news. Saka signed a new contract, 5-year deal, keeping him in the club till 2031, I believe. New wage, some 300 grand a week now. It always worries me when we're in these situations where players get paid extortionate amounts of money. And he hasn't been great this season.
No.
I'm not saying he doesn't deserve a new contract, by the way. I just hope that he hasn't. I feel like any player that's on 300 grand plus at the Arsenal shirt is cursed in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Would you believe? So I've been listening to some news outlets. Some of the Arsenal supporters saying, if Arsenal drop points this game or lose this game, do you think that's a league gone? In terms of mentality shift. Bit deep, I know, to start the show off with that, but
I don't think I've been off for a couple of shows now, and you know what I mean. You're making it a bit deep now, mate. Nothing's over till it's over, mate. I've said myself, as frustrating as it is. I mean, listen, as Arsenal fans, you know, I was sitting in that. Standing in the stadium, and before I waffle onto my point, they're making from next season onwards, they're making some safe standing at the Emirates as well. So
I mean, more ticket sales.
Yeah, so more tickets. I mean, but again, they've had a price increase, so
of course.
But I just wanted to add that because that's just come out as well as the Saka news tonight. But yeah, I was in that stadium, mate, and we were 9 points clear, and of course they were game in hand. We were 6 points at the start of the game, went 9 points, but again they had a game in hand, so it was still we went back to 6, and then it's gone to 4. I've said before, as frustrating as it is, there's going to be peaks and troughs in this season, so you've got to deal with these kind of games. But not to step on my point and step on my starting 11, which we'll get to a little bit later on. I think he's got to go for it, Tone, let the handbrake off. And this is what's he got to lose against Nottingham Forest, against Wolves. I'm thinking it because we don't want a Nottingham Forest game is why that's popped in my head, the 0-0. They're not going to want to cut. They're not going to want to, even at home, they're not going to want to come out. The crowd's going to be behind them. But listen, he's got to go for it, Tone. So got to be a bit more expressive, you know, and go for it, matey. Because to answer that question, I think it's there's still plenty of games to play, mate. You know, I don't think it's a loss would be. Right, it would be catastrophic. It would be catastrophic personally. You shouldn't be losing to Wolves. Again, but I said you shouldn't be drawing to Brentford. You need to win these kind of games. And Wolves is no different, no Tone. And again, this is our second of 3 away games. But if we have to come away from this one and win. And obviously we've got a big game against Tottenham, haven't we?
Yeah, good evening, Sheree. How are you, mate?
Sheree, mate.
Feeling good, lads, for tomorrow. 12 games to go. Stop with the tomfoolery and win this league title. Yeah, look.
Sheree, we played with him enough, haven't we, Tone?
Charles, good evening, buddy.
Charles.
Welcome to the show, mate. Welcome back, mate. Welcome back. Charles has joined us back now. We've got a timer on our.
He's back now, yeah. Come join us, Charles. Tony's figured out the timer situation for the match, but thanks for joining, bud.
Look, I think the Wigan game. I know it's Wigan, right? And they've got their own problems in their own league. They're fighting relegation. We always thought, you know, we done the job on them. It was, you know, business first. It was professional performance. But one thing that did excite me, right? And again, this is where I think he should trial it, right? Is Saka in that number 10 role. And my only problem that I've got, I was thinking about it the other day, is if you're playing that system, which worked really well, by the way. I don't know what your thoughts were. I thought it was quite moved the ball quickly, one touch football. Wigan didn't know where to go, where to look, right? And Saka was floating from the right, he was drifting in the middle, and it sort of suited him down to the ground.
Yeah.
My problem is with that system. Can you play Gyökeres in that system? Because Gyökeres with Jesus was out on the left, Martinelli was going central, and creating gaps for Eze to move into space as well, and then making them runs. Does Odegaard, does York fit into that system?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's an interesting one. I mean, that worked quite well. What you'll get with Gabby, both the Gabbies, in all fairness, the second goal was a great finish by Martinelli on his weaker foot. A great run as well, great pick out on his weaker foot by Eze as well. So it's a left and left sort of thing. Listen, I get what you're saying, Tone. You know, but I think it can do if you can have the old Saka, the likes of Saka, Madueke, and Eze alternating. It will get the best out of York. When you've got a Gabby Martinelli, a Gabby Jesus, that's why they were good in 22-23, because they were mixing and matching runs and swapping.
A lot of things were happening, Wayne, in that game. For example, Eze, he played the ball long on the floor. He was on the floor, or even in the air. He was playing a lot of long balls as well. It was one touch football. It was also going long rather than short. I'd like to see that against Wolves. Just mix it up a little bit. But I feel like York will feed off of that. You know, them through balls, they're his bread and butter. So Charles has put Wayne and Tony, a lot of good news pouring out. Saka contract, 13,000 safe standing in clock end. Some bad news. Ticket price increase.
Yeah.
Anyway, it is what it is at the Gooner. Yeah, no, it is, mate.
See it, Charles. I said that. Thank you, mate. I did say as well. That's bad news. 3.9% tone increase in the price of tickets, mate.
It was going to happen, mate. It was going to happen. That's got to cover Saka's
£300
if they
want to increase prices, I mean, listen, we all love Arsenal. We all would go to any games when the opportunity arises. But this is where the club, they have to invest. And again, I think, and it'll be another big summer, because I think there's a few decisions that Bert has got to make. And if you're putting, let's see at the end of the season come May. But yeah, listen, if they're going to keep us where we need to be, I think they are gonna, you know. Then yeah, you'll say, all right, I understand, you know, we're cost of the squad, you know, the stadium, what you're doing with the stadium, with increasing it, but you know, you want to see your team be successful, and you'll be paying the prices for that. You know, we were the prices. Would you remember time when we were absolutely dog shit, and we were people were moaning, "What? How are you charging that much when this football club? You're giving us Mustafi, you're giving us Andre Santos, you're giving us Shamak, you're giving us Socrates, or over the years." And you're charging these high prices. You know, we all love this football club deeply. That's why me and you are doing this. This is what we're chat about it. It's why we want to go. But you know, let's be real. You know, at that time, you shouldn't have been increasing prices. So right now, it's right if we get successful, Tone.
At least they're standing.
Right, I suppose, in a sense.
At least they're standing. Do you know what I mean? I think that's a good option. I think I liked when I sat in the North Bank lower tier. My mate had a season ticket. I'd get any ticket on the ground and go and stand next to him, because no one would check you. And it was a really good atmosphere. And it was a bit, you know, it was a bit more relaxed standing up. Sitting up.
The thing is with it is we've been there. We done it for years. Prior to then, we ended up sitting in the lower, but we were doing it and we were getting tickets to games, and me and you were sitting in the upper tiers. And you're sitting there, you feel you have to sit down.
Yeah, it's not as bad. It's not as bad now, mate.
It used to, it used to be though, didn't it? It used to be so bad. But I think in a football match, I get people want to sit down. If everyone's standing up, brilliant. Yeah, people have to realise if you're sitting in certain situations, sorry guys, parts of the stadium, and you're standing up. I mean, for me, you're paying for this to go see your football club and seeing Premier League like your superstars, if you like.
Yeah.
And you're doing what you do in a Sunday league, where if I'm supporting you for argument's sake, where you're going on a Sunday league, getting the air in your lungs, standing up, going, go on, you know, and you got it, you're there, sitting down, Tone, and you know what it's like. It was like that, wasn't it? It was you getting excited, and you think to yourself, shall I look behind?
Yeah.
Because it ain't trying to watch it. You should stand in and safe standing. Is something that should be. You know, he's very good by the club.
If it's safe to do so, do it around the country. If it's safe to do so, a lot of non-league teams have standing, stands, and we go to places like Dulwich, Hamlets, and stuff. It ain't all seated, you just stand it up.
It just increases the atmosphere, Tony. And this is what it's like. Get that air in your lungs, get singing. The atmosphere is so much better.
The only problem with standing, dude, if you've got someone that's 6'6" standing in front of you, you're sort of, it's not worth the ticket price.
6'4", so it might be a bit annoying.
If I'm standing behind you, mate, I'm having the Raven up 40-50 quid. Some of these comments are flying through. Good evening, people. Thank you for tuning in. Hit the like button. It helps us out a lot. Shreves put, I beg that nonsense that Brentford should be one-off. We have already cashed in on our nonsense performance, so please be serious tomorrow. Win heavy, and we can be confident for Sunday. Exactly. I completely agree with that. Any big performance.
The worst thing about it, Cherie, as well, and sorry, Tony, before you quickly read Charles, that Tottenham haven't played a game while we've played like 3 prior to them playing.
They'll be fresh.
So,
Charles, Havertz and Odegaard, an option versus Spurs in the weekend. Also, news coming. I've done a bit of team news on that. I think Havertz is targeting the weekend to be back fit,
which is good. Yeah,
good news as well on the So he's got a knee injury. Yeah, so on Odegaard, right? I'll read this.
This is yours. Go on, son.
There's something really dodgy going on there. He's not been playing. Right, he's been subbed off every time he has played. When he come on against Brentford, there's a lot of people. I mean, let me know in the comments, guys. But a lot of people have been saying that he come on, and he sort of changed the game. Now, I've still got a theory that if he'd left Eze on, we probably would have won that 2-1 because there would have been a chance at the end. That chance when Odegaard's running through and he lays that pass off, and it's absolutely shit.
Eze does different. Definitely.
I don't think Odegaard looks like himself. I think he looks like a defeated man that wants to. I
want to let you finish, and I'm gonna say something.
That's me. I think he's a guy now. I think something's happened. I think Odegaard has clashed with Arteta on something in the background, and I think now he wants out.
Another thing as well. Yeah, sorry guys, I will claim if I apologise again. Someone said as well. Have you noticed that Haaland? Now both of these guys, they're going to the World Cup with Norway, right? And both of those guys form.
I know what you're going to say. Go on. I know what you're going to say. Yeah,
has dipped. And there's someone out there. And listen, it's not just me. This is not my thinking, but someone put the fault in my. Is he holding back a bit? Is he trying to avoid big injuries, not getting stuck in? Because they want. And Haaland's form has nosedived, and Man City have been chugging away, but they've only won 1 in 6. But his form's dipped. We've dipped, our captain's dipped, and you think to yourself, what is going on? And both of them at the same time are kind of, and people are saying, look, is it a coincidence that their country is going to are they kind of playing within themselves to get through this, but they want to go to their prioritising Norway?
The goal we concede, any other player fighting for the league, get their body in front of that and do their best to block it. He's flung a leg at that.
Yeah.
And not really, it's like, he's jumped down the floor. He knew he fucked up. I'm sorry, he weren't injured. He jumped on the floor, held his leg. He knew he fucked up.
Can I another thing as well, Tone? And listen, I know it's not as bad, but he still lost his marker. Who lost his marker against Aston Villa and didn't get
and he's been punished ever since.
He got punished. You've got to, and Arteta's clearly said to him, you've got to learn the defensive side. This is his captain, and a guy he's made a captain, and all the teams apparently appointed him captain. Sorry, but he's still advocating it, if you like. This guy's been at the club for 5 years, Tone.
Yeah.
So how does he not know to picking people up? That was his man, and he's not got there.
It was coming though, Wayne. I said in the stream that the guy's got a monster of a throw. It was coming, and I knew fully well as soon as that flick on happened. I was like, I know the guy.
That throwing as well. On a different note, Tone, at COYG for the right back for Brentford. I think there's a lot of people online saying about him for the Arsenal in the summer. If obviously Benny White wants to move on,
we love a set piece, so it fit right in.
It'll fit right in, yeah, exactly. Another bow to our,
Let's catch up on these comments, dude. The difference on Sunday was the ball was being punched in between the lines. Norgard and Eze were threading between the lines, which is why I am side-eyeing Zubi and Rice real bad. Do you know what? I think
good point, Cherie.
Very, very good point there, buddy. I think that Norgard done nothing wrong You know, a lot of people going, "Oh, why is everyone? It's a Wigan. You know, why is everyone going? Oh, Norgard should start more games." What? Why not? When you play, right? Every time he's played this season, disagree with me if you feel like it, guys. Whenever he's played this season, he hasn't had a bad game. When
No.
you know, when he hasn't messed up, we haven't had the chance to mess up because he's not really played. Why not? Why not? If we're up against it at Wolves, right? Because we will be tomorrow. Wolves ain't gonna roll over for us. No team in the next 12 games are gonna roll over for us, right? We need to go into these games, and we've got the squad. Use the squad. That Wigan showed me that one thing is there's a squad there. Use it.
Yeah.
Eddie's put boys, West Ham charged 70 quid. Was that something you worked with, Wayne? I'm assuming. West Ham.
It's right. Evening, Ed. I've got. Yeah, I know, mate. I know. It's.
Look at the shit we have to watch every week.
Mate.
Yeah.
That stadium, but thanks for joining, Ed. Yeah, I get you. I'm with you, mate. I know.
West Ham are renting that Olympic Stadium, aren't they?
So they're renting it, but yeah, I mean that is ridiculous. I get what you're saying, Ed. Yeah.
Must be an extortionate rental each year for that ground.
No, well, that's what I'm saying. To charge West Ham fans that and they're mucking them about and the constant
70 quid as well, and you're like a mile. You're a mile away from the pitch as well. The view can't be great. I can't say I've been to the West Ham Stadium, but
that's the only Sullivan. But no, thanks for tuning in, Ed. Yeah, I'm with you, mate. You've got a good point there, mate.
Good evening, Eddie, mate. Thank you for tuning in there. Yeah, Charles, but since it's Saka's contract day, I have to ask 300k plus over 2031 is a good outlay. Who are we to comment on that? But don't you feel time is running out for him to become world class? He is 25 in September. I agree. He's not had a good season. He hasn't had a good season.
It's only one of the. I mean, I'm not. Listen, you know that I've said about Havertz and sorry, dude, to cut in, but
no, go on.
If there's a chance when you kind of Erdegaard's not there, you know, Eze's not made it his own. Erdegaard and Havertz could be fit for the North London derby or at least make bench. Why not? You know, he has to find a way because if Noni Madueke is more direct at this moment in time, he's got to do it in the Premier League. Yeah, we all know that. We've seen it. He's got that quality. He's raw, and he still has them kind of brain fart moments when he's getting into the opposition third in the Premier League, and this is where he's got to improve. But that's why I put him in, as I say, when it comes in. But I think he's got an opportunity now, and I say, why not? You've got get Rice and Zubi at the base for at least 60, 70 minutes. See if you can get some goals, and then start to make the changes if you have to. He's got to find a different role or different way of interpreting it, Tone, because he's been struggling at right wing.
Yeah, no, I think this number 10 role is an opportunity for him to reinvent himself a little bit this season to try and because he was getting. Joe, what is he going to get the same amount of space as he did against Wigan against Wolves? Probably not. But one thing I did notice, Wayne, was the we was making jokes about it on the stream on Sunday. I don't think I've ever seen a right winger be overlapped by another right winger. That's why I was like, what the hell is going on here? They was interchanging.
Yeah, it was good. Again, it was only Wigan, but it was good to see, wasn't it, mate?
It was good to see, and we moved the ball quickly. I think Madueke worked really well because Madueke tucked in, Saka went out to the right, and Wigan don't know what was going on. And I feel like if we play like that against Wolves, just give it a go. I was on that stream going, Joe, give it a go. It's something different. Wolves are going to be a low block. They're going to let us have the ball, move it quickly and interchange. That's why I think maybe York might sit out for this and Jesus might start because of that system that he might if he tries that system.
Listen, I mean, you could use York and you might want to use a different one against Tottenham, and you could more likely go, you know what, let's put Jesus. Maybe, Tone. Yeah. Charles has got a comment up there, mate.
Go on, mate. I'll read that. Yeah. Calafury is fit tomorrow. Tomorrow news also at Gooner Booth. Would you start him? I deeply missed the version we saw him beginning of the season. Yeah. Joe, what? I do as well. He's been quite clumsy since he's come back, and he's not really got himself going.
I don't know what happened. He said he's done something. I can't remember the words that Mikel used now, guys. Do apologise. There's been a lot of football matches since, but whatever happened to him, and he's gone out. He said, "Oh, he's done something." He said it's quite strange.
So when I look at the team news, is the wording we got on there from his press conference. He's training again after a warm up knock. It doesn't say exactly what he's done. Could be a muscle strain or what, you know. And I think Ben White as well, like he was injured, but they've just come out and said there's a bit of fatigue. He should be cleared to play. So, but yeah,
which is good. I mean, he said I think he said his hammy was a bit tight toned, but I think obviously
yeah,
with Ben, he's played through so much that it's more likely, as long as it don't bloody ping on him. Let's kind of, I don't think you should start him, but again, you could if needs must at some point, But obviously he'll make bench, but he's one of them players that you have to nurse through certain games. He'll be vital for the cup competitions, Tony, in rotation for
yeah,
Timber.
yeah, no, definitely. Sorry, there's a few more comments in it. Yeah. So,
Yeah, go on.
before we move on to the next comment, did you want to answer Charles' question? Would you play Calafiori over in
Yeah,
Capia?
sorry, Charles. Listen, well, to be fair, Tony's
That's
going to
not.
put it on anyway.
Well,
I would say that Nkapie's done enough. That he's done enough to start the game. It's one of them. You've got two tough away games. I think Calafiori has to start one of them.
yeah,
I've gone for Nkapie if he's fit enough. Because look, Calafiori was in, wasn't he? Calafiori was in against. He was more likely going to give him 60 to 75 minutes against Wigan, but then he's pulled up. So would you chuck him in? It's one of them. This could be a preferable game, Tone,
yeah,
because would you want to chuck him in the cauldron of Spurs because they'll have a new manager? They want to win this one because
yeah.
obviously
That's gonna be.
they wanted Man City to
That's a
turn them
tough tough.
over.
Yeah,
But
that's a.
when it's
Yeah, both.
Arsenal, it's a different thing. So
Yeah,
he might you
it's a
might
tough
think
tough
the
game. Yeah,
intensity be so, but it just depends how
yeah.
fit he is, Charles. I've gone for Nkapie. There's your spoiler, but I think that's the
We'll get
answer
into
there.
your prediction 11 very shortly, Wayne. Sharif put Zubimendi when the game gets physical, he becomes non-existent. Look at Brentford. It was
Yeah.
one man midfield with Rice Zubi currently not putting his weight, so the bench amigo. Look, I think Norgard hasn't really
Norgard's not done
done
any harm,
himself
has he,
any
Tone?
injustice to warrant starting
You
this
know
game.
what it
I
is?
know it sounds bad, but
What it is with Zubimendi is he's not so much in the physical side. He's in terms of
yeah,
a controller, a number six that can sit at the base, can play the ball. He did, and you can't argue with that. No Arsenal fan should argue that he went missing. Declan Rice can't keep doing it on his own. And that's the thing. Look, maybe he could do it, guys. Maybe he could go for a one man sitting midfielder in Rice, for argument's sake,
yeah,
tomorrow. Go for like Eze and Saka, because we haven't got any other midfielders currently fit. And he could have Trossard or Martinelli on the left, Jesus or Yok up front, and Noni on the right. He could
yeah,
do that as well, Tone. Or but listen, yeah, it's right, Cherie. Superman's got to pull his weight. He disappeared against Brentford, and I know it's a
yeah.
physical league, but he's got to do better in these kind of games.
Cool.
We
Let me catch
needed
some of
someone
these.
out, didn't we, to get us out of there, Tony? Get us out
Yeah.
of our own sort of thing.
Let
Box,
me
sorry.
catch these comments up, dude. If Odegaard had shame, he would have been able to see the Rice Odegaard as a midfield, but Rice as a Saka tomorrow with Madueke would actually be really nice. As a Saka in the pockets would be nice. Yeah, the interchanges on Wigan, if anything to go by, if he rolls with that tactic
They're
and
English. They're English lads. They
let
love.
them express
They've got good.
themselves.
They've
Yeah,
got good rapport in the England team. We've signed them.
yeah,
They're playing for the Arsenal. They're training with each other every day or every other day. I think they have a morning and an afternoon session. Some days they're playing.
yeah,
Point is they're training every single week with the
yeah.
players.
Give
They
give
should have
Ezra a
that
running.
rapport.
Give Ezra a run in the game
He
in
needs
the
a run
team.
in the team,
You know,
Tone. Ezer needs a
give him
run
a
in the
run. He
team.
keeps getting pulled too quickly.
He can't, yeah, and that's it, Tone. That's I agree as well.
He'll give you moments,
Brentford
right?
play a different game, and that was why I said it was a game for Havertz
Yeah,
because they were going to play the game. What did they do? They were falling over. They're going to be physical. They were just trying to win. They were slowing the game down to stop our rhythm. That's why I said Havertz should play, and then Havertz pulls up with an injury. We would have won that game, in my opinion, if Havertz was fit. That's my opinion. We never knew. We move on. It ended the draw, but yeah, that's what
do
you
you
needed.
think
Someone physical.
in them sort of games, Wayne, when we're in a physical game, we know that we're going to have the ball, right?
Yeah.
Do you think it's worth ditching the number 10 and just going with a three in midfield? So I'm talking Rice, Subi, maybe Norgard. Just sit
In the
a
physical
flat
one
three.
time.
I
Listen,
think that would
I was
probably
talking
work
to the
better,
guys.
right?
Eddie will back me up as well if
Yeah.
he's still on the video. But he was talking about it with the West Ham boys. There's about three of them in the corner and one Gooner. It's quite funny, but I go around and having a chat, and they said, Rice is more than capable of crashing a box, and I have to agree with them. If you needed anything in a game like that, you could kind of go, look, let's get the physical Norgard in there with Zubi. You've got Rice as a third midfielder and let him crash the box. Let him break up play higher up the pitch. Could have been an opportunity because you haven't got Moreno. You didn't have Havertz. You know, you could use Rice in certain situations in that.
Them sort
just
of
to
games,
break them up top, Tone, to put the pressure on them up top and have at least you've got the luxury of having Norgard and Zubi. It could have been a
them
point,
sort of
mate.
games.
It's a good point.
Yeah, I don't think them sort of games warrant at number 10. I think I'm being honest with you. Sharice put speaking on your careers after analysing that second half, it was really good. Would start him tomorrow. Saka, Eze behind him. He will score. And if we're going with MLS starts and inverts, I don't think he will go with MLS, mate. I think that he don't have that sort of trust in him yet to go back into the Prem. But I do see your point, and he did have a good game against Wigan.
Listen,
Terrell, how are you, mate?
Hello, mate.
Guys, just go over to Terrell's channel when you get the time. It's a really good channel. I jumped on it the other day. He's a really, really top Gooner there. Good evening, buddy. How are you? Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you, matey. We've seen your channel. I will subscribe, my friend. But you keep up the good work, matey. Keep going. Thanks for joining as well.
Ex-Arsenal player following Balogun is running the show at PSG. Scored 2 goals in 18 minutes. Monaco 2, PSG.
Oh, cheers, Charles. Yeah, I'm sorry, mate. As I say, we're on this one, but yeah, listen, it's always good to see the old boys. Let's hope so, mate. 3-1.
Yeah,
that's 3-1. A good shout. That's a good shout, mate. Yeah, I hope for maybe 3-0, but I mean, I get what you're saying. Away to Wolves, it's one of them games. But let's try and get a couple of goals up first. But yeah, that could be a decent one.
Yeah, cool. It's a good segment. Let's get on to Wayne's predicted 11.
Let's go, mate.
Cool. He's gone with Saka at number 10. Go on, Wayne. Talk us through the lineup. Talk me through firstly why you put in Mosquera over Saliba.
Oh, Jesus Christ. What have I done?
Is that an error?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Guys, bear with me. That's a typo. That is a typo.
You had one job, Wayne. One job.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I got, oh, mate. Honestly, I've had my youngest has been ill today, so I've been entertaining. I was out entertaining the girls, took them out on a scooter. I thought I'd get that in because I had it in my head before I forgot. And like an idiot, I've put Mosquera instead of Saliba, guys. So please forgive me.
That's fine. Look, I think...
Well,
it's without question. I think I think Gabs and Saliba go in number.
Gabby and Saliba go in, guys. That's just an error.
You've gone with Nkapia at left back. I think that's correct. I think it'd be out of him on MLS. I think MLS had a good game against Wigan. Whether he's done enough to start is another question. And again,
MLS has got to fight, Tony. He's got a fight on his hands. He's had a kind of a shock of a system. You imagine as an 18-year-old, you're coming in, you're playing Champions League nights against Real Madrid and PSG. And then your manager, and so it's not so much the manager as well as the new sort of sporting director, goes and brings in another left back, and you've got to compete with Calafiori, who's on top form. Another one, what I'd say with MLS, he's had the kind of Eze treatment in the sense that Eze's come in as another he's a Sigma say marquee because it's the amount of money you spend. But Trossard has been in good form, so it's kept Eze out of potentially playing as a left winger. And Calafiori's been in such good form that it's kept MLS out from playing. And obviously Nkapia, when he's come back in, he's either centre back or left back. And MLS has found himself sort of out in the wilderness. He's got to find his role. I still believe, Tone, that for going on, if Calafiori's not made of glass, MLS has got a midfield place to try to sort of like prove it. And I think Calafiori going down, MLS was starting in the midfield, mate, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And Calafiori went down and he changed it last minute. So he has to find his place, MLS, and I think his place is in midfield, So,
I was gutted on Sunday, mate, because I thought he was going to start in the midfield.
And you would have seen it.
Calafiori got an injury, didn't he? In the warm up.
That's what I'm saying, mate. His ability in the middle of the park, Tone, he's a boy.
I think he would have been good. He would have been good to see him. I think he can do a job as backup to Rice, but he needs the opportunity.
Well, no better opportunity than Moreno.
Well, exactly. Moreno's injured, so I generally think that if we're 2-0 up tomorrow, or we're looking pretty comfortable, but take Rice off, rest him. North London derby on Sunday, put him in there. Manage the game. Yeah, see, he's quite capable of doing it.
Yeah,
what in terms of Wolves, right? One player to look out for tomorrow is that Matthias Mane. He's an 18-year-old, right?
Yes.
absolute quality. He's quick, he's powerful, skillful. If he's going to get Wolves going, it's going to be him. And
yeah. Sorry, Tone.
he's come
Keep
through the
talking
ranks.
to the people, mate. I think the little one might be a little bit ill. I'm just
Go
going
on,
to
mate.
go. I'll be
Jump
back
off.
in.
Do what you got to do.
And keep with that fault. I'll be back as soon as I can, bud. Sorry, mate. It's all going off in this house tonight.
No worries, mate.
Keep
No
talking.
worries.
Keep that trail of fault, mate. Be back soon, guys.
Yeah, no worries, guys. Yeah, so the danger men that I've been researching on Wolves. I've been watching them week in, week out. I'm not going to claim I'm an expert on Wolves, but they've got a few new signings as well. I think that Tolo Agricadera, I think it's how you say that, is a big striker. He played against us in the Emirates. He's quite physical. So if you got him and Matthias Mane, he's going to be holding the ball up, and then they're going to be looking to counter attack. They've also got a new January sign, Angel Gomez, that's slotted in and done a good job. Wolves aren't going to be an easy game tomorrow. We're away from home. It's going to be a fiery atmosphere. We're the ones to get after. But yeah, look, I'm really, really intrigued to see what he's going to do with this lineup. You know, I think the Wigan system that he played really excited me in terms of how quickly he moved the ball. He just blew Wigan away. And I generally think if he does that against Wolves, there's an opportunity to score in the first half. We don't score many goals in the first half. I think that's our problem. And I think that as soon as we score the first goal, we should be pushing to score that first goal in the first half. We don't tend to do that. We're quite lackluster the last couple of games. But if he tries this system, maybe try it for the first half, see how we get on. If it doesn't work, then go back to your original system with a number 10 there. But the fact that Saka's in that 10 role, apologies, allows him to drift to the left and even to the right. And what he does, what I liked what he did was they over crowded that right hand side to the point where there was moments where Madueke was overlapping Saka and Saka was overlapping Madueke, as well as Ben White getting involved in the play. You can't mark that. You can't mark that out of the game. And I think that might be the clue for a low block. And it might be the benefits of beating a low block if you're having overlaps from the number 10. Odegaard won't give you that. Eze probably won't give you that. And Havertz, I think Havertz does give us that movement in that 10 role. He does move around a lot. So I think that Arteta's sort of seen what Havertz has been doing. This is why I think Odegaard is in a little bit of trouble. And I don't think that I think his place in the squad is going to be limited, because if he's going to play the system going forward, because it does work for us, and it did surprise Wigan. The Wiggins, they was expecting us to go in with this formation that Wayne's picked, because it is our standard formation with 2 in midfield, number 10, your wingers and your attacker. You know, they're probably set up to mark Saka or Madueke out of the game. You know, they wasn't expecting us to have this fluid play with Jesus in the floating 9, we'd probably say. You know, Jesus was on the left, Martinelli was through the middle. If I was to swap a player out, I'd probably say if we're going to sacrifice someone, I probably would sacrifice Eze for this game and put in Martinelli. And I'd also probably go with Jesus again, just because that system was very fluid with all them guys playing in that role. I think Gyökeres can come off the bench as a backup to do some damage if it's not working. But I think what we've done against Wigan, that new system, should be our plan A, not plan B, because we're not predictable in that system. As it stands, Brentford, every team we go and play are going to set up with, you know, very defensive, you know, come and break us down approach. We'll hit you on the break. And by the way, Wolves will do that to us. And they've got some good players now that will do it. You know, that Gomez can pick out a pass. So don't be surprised if we get hit on the break a few times. Charles has put, what game state Norgard suits? Starter winning control or finisher to protect the lead? I feel he has more attributes for the former, not the latter. Declan can handle the latter. Why not Norgard Wolves? I would play him just because. Nah, hear me out, guys. I think Zubi needs a little bit of a rest. I think maybe bring him back in for the North London derby. I would start Norgard, and I'd also, what I say to Norgard, same system as Wigan, sit in front of the back 4. Wolves are going to let us have the ball, right? They're not going to dominate us in possession. We know that for certain, right? So why don't Norgard sit in front of the back four? He's a tidy footballer. I know he's against Wigan, but any game I've seen him this season, he's a good player. He was Brentford's captain. Brentford have finished mid-season. They're no mugs. Right? So he knows the game. He's only 31, so he's got the legs. He's not played a lot of football. Sit him in front of the back four. He's very disciplined as well. That's one thing I did find against Wigan. He's quite disciplined. I would go with that. I would maybe rest Subi for this game. Put Norgard in front of the back four. Let Rice sit in front and dictate play and allow them front four or front five just to interchange. I tell you what, that will beat Wolves. I think we'll blow them away. I think that if you allow Saka the space, Eze the space, Madueke the space, to make them runs, and even Yok, to be fair, he could probably, if you're making them runs and them through balls are coming, they're his bread and butter. That pass to Madueke on Sunday, if he gets them, he's finishing them all day long. I think we've got to drag defences out now, and I think this system, Arteta's onto something, but he's got to trust the players to do it. If he doesn't, then it's going to be same old, I'm afraid. Tomorrow, it's going to be a tough game tomorrow, as it is. If you're going to be sticking to the system of, moving the ball around and not moving it quick enough, then you're going to allow Wolves just to sit in and make it difficult for us. And if we're going to be Malcolm, good evening, mate. Wolves are shit. It will be 2-0. They like Everton. They can't attack. Yeah, but Joe, I would say that they've got some good new signings in there. They've been given a bit of a lift with the signings that they've got. So I'm not taking this for granted. And I think the problem that we've got now, right? And let me know what your thoughts are in the chat about this, guys. Arsenal's mentality is going to be tested now to the max. This is where PTSD overload is going to come in. Can we get over the line? Are the players mentally strong enough to get through this, right? Because it is in our hands. If we win all our games, right, we might be able to afford a few draws on the way, right? If we stay consistent with our performances, we win the title. And I think when you say that out loud, I think it does give everyone a little bit of PTSD, because I'm sort of like game by game, I'm going to be nervous tomorrow, and so will the players. But this is the testing partner. This is the business end of the season. We've got some tough fixtures going. Man City haven't got easy fixtures either, but we do have winnable fixtures. That's the difference this time compared to last season. We've got winnable fixtures. We've got a good enough squad, right? Go and win the title. The one thing you've got to do, if you're Arteta and you're the players, you've got to say to them, how much do you want to win the title? Because it's there. It's in our hands. Go and win tomorrow. Go and put a performance in. I don't mean go and nick it 1-0. Go in there, absolutely blow Wolves away, right? Go to Tottenham, go with the same confidence. We don't turn up to games. And Wayne, I don't know if you agree with us. We didn't turn up and go, we want to be champions. We're going to come out here and we're going to fuck your long throws. We're going to defend them. That's all you got, because that was all they have. Let's be honest, that long throw was all they had on us. Yeah? Go and blow teams away. We don't do that. We haven't done that once this season. We haven't blown a team away, right? And I think an early goal is massive, massive important for us tomorrow. An early goal in the first half. The difference with Wigan, we scored in the first 5 minutes, right? And then, the floodgates. So Wigan didn't know what to do. We do the same to Wolves. They're a relegation team. They're low in confidence. We literally score an early goal. They'll have to come out because they're fighting relegation. Let me take them to the cleaners.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, no, sorry about that, guys. Bit of an emergency there, but listen, 100% Tone. It's one of them where, as much as you're away, put a statement down. And I'm not saying obviously. I mean, Wolves kind of had our number a little bit in terms of, and it's our open play creativity. But when they played us at home, we got that late winner, didn't we? Do you remember in the 2013-2014 season when we just literally blitzed Sheffield United? We were blitzing teams 4-0, 5-0. The team is more than capable of doing that, Tony. It's finding the right jigsaws to get that over the line. So that's up to the gaffer at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's the attacking play that needs improving, mate.
Yeah, Charles makes a very good point. Mate, I have to ask, reverse Wolves fixture was scrappy.
Yeah.
very tough at home. Yeah, we got lucky there. What do you sense will happen? Will we do it late or early? We need to do it early, mate. We can't keep going late.
Charles need to come out, like Tony
Got
said,
to come out the traps.
got to
Got to
come
blow
out
them
the
away.
traps, matey,
First 10
early.
minutes.
Put a statement
First,
down.
look, Nottingham Forest had 30 shots against Wolves in the whole game. They're there for the taking.
And the manager got sacked afterwards because they couldn't put the ball in the back in it. We have to put a couple of them in at least.
Exactly.
You know?
I mean, I don't. We ain't in the best run of form right now in terms of, we ain't picked up many. We ain't picked up the points that we should have picked up, which is disappointing. But like this is now, we've got to go on a run. We've got to go on a run, and we've got to put tomorrow is a really, really important game, right? Mentality shift, right? We go and beat Wolves comfortably, yeah. No one's playing, right?
Yeah.
No one's playing before us. No one's playing after us. We can go and do our job tomorrow, and we can sit there 7 points. Man City have to sit on that until the weekend, right? Yeah. Then they go and play Newcastle, who are picking up form, right? They've just beaten Aston Villa in the FA Cup away from home, right? Good performance. They're picking up a little bit of form. Eddie Howe ain't going to go to the Etihad and let them roll Newcastle over, especially after the League Cup.
Yeah,
he's going to want to go there, and I fancy Newcastle to nick a draw. By the way, I generally don't think that City are reaching the heights that we thought they would. I think they're don't get me wrong, they're getting results. The Anfield result was a little, was what was, everyone's going, it's a turning point because it was Liverpool. But let's be honest, Liverpool haven't been great this season, right? So Anfield isn't the fortress that it was last season or the season before. Yeah. I know we lost there, but we only lost there because Arteta wasn't brave enough, in my eyes, right? And a brilliant free kick was what settled the game, but we could have nicked that,
Yeah.
So I think that game by game, tomorrow, we start with tomorrow, right? Go and put a performance in. You're away from home. It's tough. Silence that crowd, right? In relegation battle, I think Wolves are not entirely confident they're going to start up anyway, if I'm being honest with you. Hence why I think they played a full squad.
Someone said, apparently as well, he's come out, and good point to bring that up, Tone. Apparently as well, he said he's not afraid sort of like to swap it up, because obviously maybe a cut run. I mean, they're good. They're as good as gone kind of at this moment in time, how it's all going. And I think what's going to happen is, and I mean, I know obviously Ed, it's not a dig, mate, but obviously West Ham fans will know they're still down there. Tottenham are down there. Crystal Palace are down there. You got Burnley, you got Forest. I mean, listen, Burnley could be the one that might be kind of second to go, but I think that they're going to start pulling away, and even Burnley will maybe end up giving it a good go. But they're falling away. So the main thing is, could we we're gone? It's a bit too late for me to kind of rescue this. We haven't got the squad, haven't got the players. Have a good cup run, and they're going to chuck it all in in the FA Cup. Where we won't keep you up, Tone, winning the FA Cup or even challenge, even going there. But a good cup run could maybe cheer the fans up a little bit. So maybe he might sort of like rest a few of their main starters. I know they've got that the Chinese fella up top, Wang. I think he's out.
He's out injured, mate. Thigh injury. He's out for a couple.
So I mean,
I was just saying that is it Orakunde? I think is how you say his name. I probably butchered the shit out of it. Apologies, guys.
This isn't an English chat. Yeah, an English. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
English lesson.
He's a big striker, powerful striker that will hold the ball up. He done a job once at the Emirates. So Saliba and Gabriel have to be solid tomorrow.
Listen, that's. I mean, listen. The key to it. The fact is, if there's anyone sort of, if you're looking at a different thing, you if you like Arsenal, well, obviously we like Arsenal. If you don't like Arsenal, one thing you do if you hate us with a passion is you have to go, well, in fairness, they got a great defence. They got the best defence in the league. That's one thing that City haven't. They haven't got a settled defence. Only thing I will say is, obviously, if you're giving me a centre back pair and a Diaz and Gay, I would say it. But the fullbacks are the ones where I think the weakness will lie. In how they're playing them and how he operates in them. But yeah, all right. But I still don't think the Man City have that ability to shut teams out like we have. So defence can win your titles. It's just getting the ball in the other end, Tone. And we should have won at Brentford. We could have lost at Brentford. So it swings and roundabouts with a lot of things. But that's what wins your titles, mate. Is a good, strong defence. That's what you need to
I mean,
build upon. And games like tomorrow are exactly that.
if you want a bit of confidence, bloody Wolves have got a minus 32 goal difference, so they're shipping goals, right? So if we don't win tomorrow,
So
and
I've
fall
seen
by a
that
few, I'll
team.
be worried.
I've seen that team come to rock up at the Emirates with a game plan,
Yeah,
right? And a lot of people do, by the way. And then they're getting spanked at home, and they're getting, or they, they'll go to the Etihad to get spanked. I mean, he had it. Rob Edwards had a set up a way to. He done it with Luton last year, and I thought, yeah, you've just done exactly that game plan you come with Luton, where people were, it's Luton Town. And I think we just scraped to 1-0, if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
yeah.
So again, if I can't
No,
remember that, guys.
4-3, mate. 4-3 at Luton.
No, that was at Luton, wasn't it? I mean, I
Yeah,
can't be having that one, mate, because that was a terrible game. We pulled it back in the last minute, but yeah, listen, it's all about them two. That's why they're fighting important. Saliba, Mosquera is fantastic, but what Saliba does, in terms of his plays, he brings the ball out. He's been a bit more adventurous, if you've noticed, Tony, where he's coming out of the defence. He's marauding out of defence now, and that leads you to push the team further back, and we're pushing up, and I think that's what he gives you. Well,
yeah.
Mosquera doesn't give you that, but he's one of the bargains of the bloody summer, mate. That boy, and he's only going to get better. He's
Good player.
21,
Good player.
so it's no slight on him. But I think obviously they're your players that are vital, Tone. Saliba and Gabriel in for the rest of the season, mate. Vitally important if you want to go all the way in these competitions. You need
Well,
them
yeah,
to
look,
fully fit.
Wolves are gonna set up the same way they did against us at the Emirates, right? That's how they think they're gonna nick a point or 3 points, if God forbid. That's why I think that system he played against Wigan, he's gonna have to try it just to try something different. Because
Yeah.
one thing I did notice, Saka didn't get marked out of the game like he normally does, right? And I think Wigan was setting up to
Maybe that's an option at,
defend.
at number 10, just to give it a trial against Real Wolves,
We
because they're going to
yeah, we
sit
don't.
back.
I don't think we need an out and out number 10. I think Eze
No,
could even play number 8 and stick Rice in the 6. I generally think if we're gonna have the ball, Wayne. So
yeah,
I think Arteta needs to be a little bit more adventurous with our players.
yeah,
If in this, Wolves ain't gonna, they're not gonna dominate possession. We both know that, and I think people in the chat know that. So why don't you play your ball plan players, your technical players, your Ezes, your Rice is even in there. I know Zubimendi's good on the ball, but if you've got your attacking players, Saka, Madueke, Eza, I'm still debating in my head whether Yok or Jesus, if he's playing that system, start, because I think Jesus works better in that system.
Well, you just don't.
Martinelli
Yeah,
through the
I know what
middle.
you're saying. You get him, because sometimes maybe you don't necessarily need a centre forward who's going to pin the centre back's tone. Maybe at times, but again, that's what it could do, is create space for them three playing behind him. It's what he does. He's a channel runner. He can play the ball that was played into Martinelli. That's what Gyökeres does. Do you know what I mean? And that's the difference. And you notice it with Gabriel. It depends, obviously, what you want. I think if it's going to be a little bit physical, then you get him up there. Against Brentford, mate, I thought he was brilliant without doing. In fairness, I don't think anyone else was even held remotely close to helping him. But he was at moments when he was holding the ball up well, he's touching it off. It's that confidence with him, and it's coming back. It's in there. So he has to start for me. I think in the Premier League, I mean, look, Gabby Jesus can go missing in a lot of games, Tone. Against Wigan,
It's
against
gonna be a
League One
tough game, isn't it?
opposition,
It's gonna be a physical
he's
game.
yeah. And Jesus is not your kind of man for that kind of physical battle, and he's not the man against Spurs either. But he could also be that option to sort of like bring on later on. With him and Martinelli, they have a rapport. The Brazilian lads, Martinelli loves him. He loved him from like when they started playing together in 22, 23. That's what if that works, Tone, swap it around. But
Yeah.
yeah, let's see, mate. But I think obviously in the physical battle, you get Yok on, and then give Jesus. Jesus can be your finisher, and then Jesus might come on. And if Gyökeres has created a goal, scored a goal, not done either of the above, but we're winning, and he comes on, nicks a goal. That's what you're there for. You're a striker that you either be a finisher, or you start in the FA Cup games or wherever. You got to be ready to go at any point in time. So, but I think this is a game for Gyökeres. Is my point.
Yeah, no, very good point. Yeah, but start shutting down, mate. Predictions.
I'm going 3-0 to the Arsenal. I think we're going to shut it up. Going to be a noisy home crowd, but I think we're going to shut it up. I think 3-0.
I'm pretty similar. I think I'm going to go 2-0. I think that Wolves will. Yeah, Charles, what's your predictions, mate? I think we beat you to that. Guys, let us know what your predictions are in the chat. Mine also showed up 1-0.
Listen,
they're going to be.
Charles, it can go one way. You get the goal. Keep you've got the players to keep it tight at the back, and you can also look at it, Tony, if he needs to, in terms of injuries and stuff like that, is to kind of rotate your fullbacks as well. And if Benny White, and if he feels if not, Mosquera can cover if you need to. I think Timber should be, your player. Listen, Gabby and.
Timber's had a well-deserved rest, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He looked a little bit lethargic, didn't he, against Brentford towards the end? That misplaced pass.
Listen. That flick on from York, you'd be like, that's everything you want from your centre forward.
Yeah, it's fun.
But you just didn't want Timber. You didn't want Timber there. He was absolutely knackered.
Yeah.
It was harsh on Martinelli saying anything.
It's a hard chance.
Because again,
it wasn't an easy chance.
It wasn't an easy chance. It's laid on. It's not as if it's laid on a plate. The keeper's closing the angle down. Tone. If you're 1-on-1 with a keeper, if that's a more clinical player, he could be putting the ball in the back of the net. So Agreed. It is what it is. Timber was out on his backside, but it was a great flick on. But listen, it is what it is. We move on with that one. But one thing I don't want to see is that at the end of the game. I think he needs to kind of tell Timber, you're one of the best right backs in the league. Stay that way. If you want to invert into the midfield, fair enough. If you want to go down the wing and mix it and match it with a Madueke or a Saka, whoever the system that Mikel chooses, fair enough. But please, mate, stop trying to box crash. Just stop it. We love you, but stop it.
Trying to get his stats up.
He's a great. I love the player, Tone, but he just keeps trying to. He keeps trying to be that striker. But he's a phenomenal player. I wouldn't swap him for anyone personally. I love Timber. He's
Yeah, Charles is right there. I need a Saka goal post sign, the big one.
Exactly.
Yeah,
listen, mate. He's got the big money now. He's the poster boy for this project.
Big boy money.
He's got that. There's a tweet that's going around in it where he's saying you deserve better, Arsenal fans. And as much as you don't want it to be on his shoulders, if you're looking at that team, York isn't world class. York is just a quality finisher in the team. That's a team that plays to his strengths. He will put the ball in the back of the net for you, right? He's not world class. If you're going to go and look at a world class player, you're looking at that team. At one point it was Ødegaard, but Ødegaard's totally dropped. You'd have thought, Ødegaard's form has totally dropped, and we've seen Saka drop as well. And if he wants to be put in a bracket of being world class or being up there in the bracket of them of talents like that, now's the time. You've got your contract. We are telling you, the team's telling you, Arteta, and Berta and everyone else, right, here's your big contract. You're the poster boy. Do the business. And he's got to now, Tone. Salah was at his age, and Salah started banging goals in and doing what he was doing. So he's got to step up. If he had Mo Salah level output, Bones, we wouldn't be talking about a title race right now, because I think we'd be out of sight. So at this, look at Liverpool. Liverpool are winning it at a canter right now. They had no troubles whatsoever. So listen, this is his time now. He's got his big contract. He's got to start performing, mate.
Cool. So on that note, we'll call it there, Wayne. Guys, please smash the like button. It helps us out a lot. If you're new to tuning in tonight, welcome. Please subscribe.
Thanks, guys, and thanks for the comments.
Thanks for the comments as always. Also, tomorrow we're going to be doing a watch along. Kick off at 8 o'clock. So join us for that. We'll be on here, ready to go. Big game. So tune in. We're looking forward to the game tomorrow. Come on, you Gunners.
Come on, you Gunners. Thanks for joining, guys.
Have a good evening. Take care.